Hello YouTube, I'm Terry Jenkins, and welcome back to my channel. This channel is called How to Draw the Marvel Way, and I am going back to basics. So, 2 videos ago we did form, last video we did perspective. We went over horizon line, 1-point perspective, and 2-point perspective. Today we are going to tackle 3-point perspective. So let's get to it. As you can see, that's a chapter from my book. We're going to open up Photoshop. I'm going to click New. And let's see, did it save? It did not save my preset. Alright, since we're doing comic book art, I need to look up to see if the standards are still the same. But we're going with 10 by 15. Our resolution is going to be 15. Resolution is going to be 300 dpi. I'm gonna resave my preset again. Just so we're all understanding, I am not a professional artist. I draw as a hobby. I would like to do it professionally, but right now I'm lacking the confidence and the skill. But that's why I'm doing this YouTube series. How to Draw the Marvel Way by Stan Lee and John Buscema. It was originally published in 1978. The book itself is owned by Marvel, published by Fireside Book, and Simon and Schuster Incorporated. So I do not own the rights to How to Draw the Marvel Way. I do not own the characters such as Spider-Man and Thor, who you might be seeing in our drawings today. So I got my comic book board all set up. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer. So, like I was saying in the last video, perspective has always been one of my biggest, how can I say it? One of my biggest weaknesses. And I normally stay away from perspective, so when I used to do a lot of my drawings, there would be no background. And I also didn't have a lot of characters because I didn't know how to position them right unless I was translating poses from other artists. Give me a moment. I'm trying to if that was all set up, but this is part of my learning process in making videos. Oh, what is going on? Oh, because I gotta. For some reason, my phone won't upload pictures onto my MacBook. So I've been using my email accounts and my DeviantArt, but I really don't want to put it on DeviantArt because I don't want anybody thinking that I'm trying to sell the pages of the book. All right, there we go. So yeah, perspective has always been a weakness of mine, but recently, after painting one of my characters from borrowing another artist's pose, they used perspective, and all I did was change the background, and I loved the piece. And I did another drawing where perspective was a huge part of it, and I guess you can say I'm starting to love perspective. Not that I didn't love it. I mean, as an artist, I always loved it because perspective is how you're able to fit multiple characters into a piece. Um, it gives characters more of a dynamic pose when you have perspective used. And, a lot of my pieces look nice, but, they're static. So, perspective, yay. So, I'm going to go into my DeviantArt real quick. And that's a horrible looking picture. Alright, so let's start. So with 3-point perspective, the first thing that we need to figure out is where our horizon line is going to be. So on this layer, we're going to rename this layer, we're going to rename layer 1 to city 3.1. Now you remember 2 points perspective allows us to see an object or our subject from 3 different views. If it's above the horizon line, we're looking at worm's eye view. If it's below the horizon line, it is worm's eye view. And when it's on the horizon line, then we call that the natural horizon line. So let me create another layer beneath, and we'll just go over that real quick. So that's our horizon line in black. If I was drawing this square, it's flat. So going back to our form tutorial, in order to show that it's not flat, you can draw it from the sides. Oh, that's another thing about this series is that I'm teaching myself how to draw with my tablet so that I can get more practice in. Because to me, I feel like I will be saving more money on paper if I can learn to do everything on the computer. Yeah, I'm learning little tricks like this, holding the shift key as I'm drawing to make my line straight. Oh, that's a little off. We're gonna go with it. And if you're looking at something straight on, like our cube, that's how it's going to look. You're not going to be able to see above or below. So let's put that into practice. We're going to create a layer above. We're going to do our cube straight on. Can't see anything from the side. Can't see anything from the top or below. And we'll just give it number 1. If we wanted to draw it above the horizon line, we can do it head on still. But then there's a natural, oh yeah, you guys can't see, but there's a natural, since this is where we're leading the viewers to, there's a natural sense for the eye to go that way. And going back to the demo, but you see, we already encountered a problem. It's still flat, and we don't want that. So we want to see the cube from above. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I guess if we're talking 1-point perspective, that's what it would be. So that's 1-point perspective. But if we are talking 2-point perspective, that means we have 2 points. And these 2 points are going to eventually meet. So now we know bam. And the same thing goes for bird's eye view. You're going to have the 2 points meet. And remember that what you see in front is always going to be larger and it recedes as it goes towards the horizon line. And then we're drawing our cube on the horizon line. With 2-point perspective. And you're going to have something that looks like that. The top is going to go down, the bottom is going to come up, and then there's going to be a line. So you don't see the bottom, you don't see the top, and that's 2-point perspective. So 1-point perspective you can use for flat objects. I did that on the demo layer. Oops. No worries. I'm going to call that the horizon layer. And we're just going to make another one. So now 3-point perspective. I'm going to call this 3-point lesson. And we'll go with, I need a color that you guys can definitely see. Let's go with like a really dark yellow. So three-point perspective means obviously you're going to have 2 points. No, that's too dark. But then you're also going to have a 3rd point. Something like that. So when you're drawing, let's say this was a building. So just like with our 2-point perspective, my building is going to head towards one vanishing point. Going to head towards the second, but it's also going to head towards this 3rd point. Ooh, no. Make my brush bigger. So something like that. And we're going to see if I'm correct. And if I'm not, that's the best thing about learning from a book. We can see where I messed up so that you aren't messed up. But I can tell you now that I messed up. So let's duplicate the lesson and let's see how it's supposed to be done. So here's 3-point perspective from the book. down top, and I'm going to multiply it so that we can see what I did wrong. So as you can see, when working in three-point perspective, there is a vanishing point here. It's actually higher than that. There we go. So they have a vanishing point here. So there's the vanishing point there. So when you start drawing buildings, and we'll do that in blue, it gets wider. The further away it is from that vanishing point. And we gotta go back to red so that we know. But now we need to know where our horizon line is. Now we're viewing the buildings from worm's eye view. That means our horizon line is actually a low horizon line. So if we were to take this panel, so if we were to take the panel, and really box it off, we see that we have lines going here and going here. So we can assume that the horizon, our horizon line, even if you take this into we know that these guys are heading off page. So it forms sort of, it's actually going to be like over here. That's the back of the building here. Looks like that's another building in the back to that building. Showing. So we know that we are definitely in worm's eye view. and that the vanishing points are off the page. So let's see what Spotty has to say. Well, it had to happen. These two pics offer you examples of scenes containing 3-point perspective. Can you find the 3 vanishing points? Oops, we forgot to mention the point at which the conversion lines come together and finally meet, called, naturally enough, the vanishing point. Better late than never. So I need to put my glasses on because I'm hurting my eyes. And let's see what Thor is telling us. Spider-Man have forgotten to tell thee the third vanishing point on your top illustration does not go to the horizon, which I already explained. Whilst the first and second vanishing points do go to the horizon, the third one rises far above and is but an arbitrary point, just as the third one in this lower panel doth fall below the horizon line in an equally arbitrary manner. So be it. So when we look at this one, and I'll create a new layer up top. When we talk, this one, I can do that by holding shift. We see that the third vanishing point is way down here. Why did it work that time? I mean, I guess you guys can kind of see it. Oh, damn it. See, this is the part where I feel like if I was doing this on paper, it would be a little easier. But then I would need tracing paper so that I can do what I'm doing now, whereas it's really, really fast to do it in Photoshop. So we know that this is bird's eye, not only because the third vanishing point is down here, but we see everything on top of the buildings. Like it even goes through that building. So we know that our horizon line is actually up here somewhere. Because the lines are going to recede that way. Alright. So thank you, Thor. Thank you, Spider-Man. Thank you, Stan Lee and John Buscema. Let's see if we can take what we have learned and see if I can do three-point perspective on my own. So going back to what I did in the beginning, how can I fix this? Well, first things first. Do I want to do worm's eye or do I want to do bird's eye? Since I did worm's eye there, I'm going to continue to do worm's eye. And because I keep complaining about not having a ruler, how about I actually put a ruler on? I am totally forgetting my photograph. Photograph. I'm totally forgetting my Photoshop skills here. I need to go to view. I can put my rulers on. And how about I do new guy layout? Let me get rid of the gutter. Typically we work in threes. So let me give it 3 columns. Let me get 3 rows. Alright, so that should help me with the drawing. I'm going to focus on do my little picture in this quadrant. So I know that my vanishing point, let's just say I'm making I'm going to make this point. I'm going to make this point. Huh. Why are you not brushing? I'm on the right layer. It's just one of those I can't. Oh, and my brush isn't turning on either. Eh? Alright, there we go. Hmm. Oh, okay, I get it. Now, I don't know if this happens on later versions of Photoshop. So, this is going to be my point. That's going to be my vanishing point. And like I said, I'm going to draw a picture right here. So, we'll just say that my vanishing points will be these 2 corners. And this right here will be where I actually want to draw my actual picture. So I'm actually going to take this off. And my horizon. I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to say 3-point review for myself. And let's tackle it. So again, I'm going to draw my picture in this panel. Or should I draw in a different panel? I gotta, hold on, let me think. So yeah, I'm gonna draw my picture in this panel. And my point is going to be where this 5 is. Not understanding why. Oh, because I have my eraser on. So my point is going to be there. That's going to be my point. So that means everything should be leading up to it. We're doing worm's eye view. So that means my horizon line is down here somewhere. So I'm going to use my point right there. And my point right there. And again, alright, so I'm actually going to get rid of my layout. There we go. Now I can. So I'm going to draw a building using the cube. I'm going to extend my cube and it's bird's eye. So we're not, it's worm's eye. So we're not going to see the very bottom of this. I'm going to start it off easy. And I know that, let's just say, maybe, I guess you need to pick one main focus. So this building will be the main focus. Boom. Now, it needs to go down, but the lines still need to measure up. So I'm going to create a layer. I'm going to make it a little wider. Let me click on View, press Shift. Alright. I'm going to do it again. Go back to this color. Now I have my God. Yep, looks like that's looking pretty good. And now I need to, now this might be a little steep. But it needs to connect here. So from there, you can barely see it, but it's enough for me to work with. Bam. Now, comic book artists typically draw into the bleed section, so that's what I'm going to do. And that already looks better than what I did right there. Now let's draw another building. Let's draw a thinner one. Like I said, I want this one to be thinner, so maybe it's on the same line as that one. It's not going to go straight up. I have to give it a little bit of an angle. Alright. Now, let's say I want to draw the sun. Now the sun is higher. Yeah! I'm here all day Friday. Sorry, kids. The sun is always higher. And you know what? I think that's actually a little too big, because even though, or maybe not. But I'm going to shrink it down just a little bit. And I am really starting to like it. Let's see, what else can we draw? Maybe I could draw a figure. Now, I've done this in the last couple pieces where my figures actually look pretty nice because of perspective. And you probably wouldn't see too much of her legs. Some windows. Oh, not heading towards the vanishing point. Now this is going to be interesting. That means to hit here. Oops, just drawing all down the wrong layer, but that's fine because that means I can go ahead and do what I was doing before. Hold down Shift, go to this point here. That's where I want that part of the window. So now when I go to make my windows, and actually let's go back. Hold Shift, and yeah, right there is where I want. Go back up here. Alright, so now when I go to do my drawing, on the review, layer, and now, bam, yeah. Window 1, window 2. And the closer it gets, so now we ran into another problem. And this is my horizon line. It's on this side of the building, so I need to erase that, go back to my brush. Still above, so it will still probably looks like that. So let me go back to the layer below. So eventually I'll be able to eyeball this with more practice. If you're a beginner like myself or a professional, you know, sometimes I guess it's good to practice. Because I guess really I'm not a beginner. I'm just trying to finally master one of my weaker skills. So I made my mark. Right there. Right, so see, like, that's a little off. Especially when so yeah, so I see that that's a little off. Be fixed, bring that down. Yeah, looks so much better. Again, I know my horizon line's down below. So this is probably ooh, why did it do that? Hold shift, come to this point. Shift. And now the same thing will go basically for here. Probably going to be a little off. Oh man, I want to give it some space. So like right here. I have to get better with managing my layers. I drew on what was going to be the final piece. Let's see if I can give it some breathing room over here. So no worries, I'm still going to use blue. Same line. Try to get that angle in there. Come in the center. Alright. So now I'm going to do my final run through. I'm happy with everything. And on the final, we're just going to basically trace. Ooh. find it funny that it's so hard to trace myself. It's probably because my brush is a little too big. Let me decrease the size with my brackets. Oh yeah, that's definitely way better. So like I said, this is me also learning how to draw on the tablet. And if you're trying to become a digital artist, I suggest also practicing as much as you can. I feel like I really did learn a lot from this tutorial. And like I said, I'm not professional, but hopefully if you're following me to improve your own skills, we get to see each other improve together. And if you are a professional or you just know a lot about perspective and stuff, feel free to leave a comment. I do have tough skin. If you want to be rude, I'm not encouraging you to be rude, but I'll probably take what you say for what it is. But if you're really trying to help, I'm all ears. Let me get that. And bam. I'm gonna draw our little panel. Keep my review off. I forgot my little figure, but like I said, all you're gonna see is a little tiny head. You're gonna see more of the torso. But you're not really gonna see much. 3-point perspective, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope you like that. We still have more perspective studies to go over before we move on to the next chapter. Again, this is Terry Jenkins, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way by Stan Lee and John Buscema. I do not own the rights to Marvel characters or How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. If you like this video, click subscribe, and you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. The links to those sites will be below. You can also follow my novel, Favorite Aries, at my website, www.terrelljenkins.com, which will also be in the description. I'm also writing fan fiction around the franchise Avatar: The Last Airbender, except I'm making it more urban. That's also on my website. I have a link to How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way on Amazon, which will be listed in the description as well. So, again, thank you for watching. Remember, be terrific.